This week it's all about the blues. So if you haven't joined me before, welcome. My name's Luke and this channel is all about my beginner guitar journey later in life. So I didn't release a video last week. I actually put one together, edited it, spent some time doing it. It wasn't your typical video, it wasn't one of my journey videos. And I pressed publish and about 10 seconds later it got taken down because of copyright. And in my naivety, I actually cut some of a film within that video, and that's the reason it was pulled. I think it was by Sony. So lesson learned, and next time I won't be doing that. But clearly I wasn't really thinking about what was going on. My learning this week has been all about the blues on stage 8. It's been slow, to be honest. I've had a crazy week at work, and when you're trying to fit in time to practice, sometimes that can really struggle. So this week's been one of those, but I have managed to get some time in, and it's been all about learning bits of the blues that I wanted to. So I haven't done a lot. I've actually been working on one main song, which I'll get to later, and also just mainly the 12-bar blues, and trying to get that down. And to be honest, it just keeps turning out different nearly every time. So that's me playing it through once. Let's see what it sounds like a second time round. Sound much different? Maybe it's just my ears, but every time I keep repracticing it, it sounds completely different. That time maybe it was a little bit more consistent, so it's probably the one time it has been. But trust me, the rest of the week it seems all over the place, and you can still see that I catch strings and it's not quite right, but it's kind of cool and I'm enjoying that. But it's just getting it down every time to be that consistent sound, and it's just not happening. When I get to the songs later, when I complete this JustinGuitar beginner course, like I've mentioned before, I'm going to start really getting into some songs, and I'll show that every week as I'm on these journey videos and what I'm practicing. So hopefully I can start pushing it along, because I really think all the techniques will get sort of better once obviously I start practicing songs that are relevant to those techniques, and vice versa. But we'll see how we go. But on top of that 12-bar technique, I've also been trying to do some palm muting. So Justin talks about some palm muting now. I've done a bit of this in my past videos where I'm starting to learn it. I think I did it when I did one of the, might have been Dakota, the Stereophonic song. I was really trying to get the hang on it then. But I haven't really applied it to the 12-bar blues. So I've done a little bit of that this week as well. I'll give it a crack now, see how it goes. Still not getting that right, that palm muting technique. Some days it's better than others, so that just shows how I'm not consistent at all. Like, for example, I know that you're supposed to use that part of your hand, like you said, doing a karate chop type of thing, but I just can't seem to always get it on the strings correctly. I'm trying to sit it back towards the saddle. As you can just see me practicing there, I'm just some are ringing out, some aren't. I'm not quite sure how much. No. Yeah, one to keep practicing. So I was hoping to get stuck into That'll Be the Day by Buddy Holly. This was Justin Guitar's cover version using his app, and you can do a play along and you can see the beats, and it's a bit like a video game type thing. So I was going to start getting into that, but I just didn't have the time for that one. And so the one I ended up trying to learn this week, because it had a cool riff in it, was Eric Clapton's version, Before You Accuse Me, Take a Look at Yourself. And that has got a cool riff in it. And it's obviously a 12-bar blues pretty much all the way through. But it's proved pretty difficult to learn that riff. I've got a bit of a handle on it. I know what notes come where, but in terms of getting the timing right and it sounded any good, it's nowhere near yet. And the actual time it took me to learn that riff must have been about, well, 2 to 3 hours before I could kind of knew the sequence of notes. And now I've just got to try and put those into a pattern that's recognizable. And it's not happening yet, but it's, you know, it's early stages, and that's all good. So I'll try and play what I've learned now. That's the riff, right? So let's play that alongside Justin's version
later on. Okay.
I've got some work to do, right? But I'm really enjoying it, and there's so many cool blues riffs that I want to learn. And I've been, the time that I have had when I've been working, I've managed to watch a few bits and pieces and listen to a few bits and pieces in between. More about like the Rolling Stones and Clapton. I know they had a lot of blues influences on their song creation, so I thought I'd go down that kind of route just to sort of see what they listen to. And I've found myself listening to a lot more blues music, and I'm really starting to enjoy it actually. If you haven't listened to much blues yourself, I'd recommend you checking some of it out, like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, what was the other ones? Elmore James, Freddie King. He had a big influence on Eric Clapton, and of course Robert Johnson. So these guys, I've been listening to their music over the last, I don't know, what is it, 3 or 4 weeks, and it's really starting to grow on me, and I'm really starting to understand why they had quite an influence on the Stones and Eric Clapton. For two that I've been sort of listening to and watching documentaries on recently anyway. Really good, great music. Freddie King, I haven't listened to any vocals. I'm not sure if he does vocals, but it was all the instrumental stuff anyway. It's really good, and certainly gives me some inspiration. And if you're interested, check it out. If you guys have any recommendations on some blues music to check out, let me know in the comments below. Really interested in absorbing as much blues kind of music as I can at the moment, and I'm looking forward to learning quite a few blues songs and riffs later down the lines. I know it's not going to be easy. I know from just the tiny experience I've had that it's going to be quite tough to get my fingers used to playing that and my head around the sequences and feeling that kind of music, because it's more about feel by more often than not from what I hear, and improvisation, and obviously learning those bits and pieces. So I'll be really keen. Let me know if you can. Anyway guys, that's it for this week. If you've liked the video, please hit the like button, and I'll leave you with one thing before I go, and that is from Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones, what he said about blues music. If you don't know the blues, there's no point picking up a guitar and playing rock and roll or any other popular form of music. Anyway guys, until the next one, cheers.